You think that in this moment, she is simply enjoying herself. You think it's all about technique, rhythm, duration. The brutal truth is that while your conscious mind is focused on the process, her brain is working like a super powerful quantum computer. It is simultaneously analyzing the past, scanning the present, and predicting the future. She isn't just feeling. She is making decisions. She is testing. She is drawing conclusions about you that will stay with her forever. Most men remain technicians their entire lives. They try to master a craft without understanding its essence. But today, you will stop being a craftsman and receive the keys to true mastery. I'm not going to talk about physiology. I am going to show you her inner landscape. 5 levels of her reality, 5 layers of her perception that unfold simultaneously while you are inside her. This knowledge is based on depth psychology. Great minds like Freud and Jung only lifted the veil on this world, speaking of the unconscious and archetypes. But today, we will take their complex theories and turn them into a perfectly clear, practical guide to her soul. After this video, you will stop just acting. You will start commanding her state of being. But I must warn you, this is a deep dive. The most important key, the one that will tie all 5 levels together, I will reveal at the very end. So before we begin, I ask that you like this video now, so I know we're on the same wavelength. And if you are here for the first time and are ready to go all the way for real knowledge, subscribe right now. And before we get to the core of it, I'm very interested to know our geography. Please write in the comments what city you are from. It's important for me to see how wide our audience of thinking men is. Level 1, the fusion instinct, the primal brain cell, the first level, the most basic, the most ancient, and the most honest. This is the level of her primal animal brain. Here, there are no thoughts, no analysis, no social norms. There are only pure, unfiltered instincts. What does she feel on this level? It's not just a physical touch. The key word here is completion. The moment you enter her, her reptilian brain receives an unequivocal signal, a signal of completeness, that the void, symbolizing vulnerability, has been filled. It is a feeling of fusion, of dissolving boundaries, of returning to a state of primal wholeness. Why is this so critically important? Because on this level, fullness is a direct synonym for safety. Her ancient part, the one inherited from hundreds of generations of ancestors, does not understand words. It only understands the language of strength and protection. And your confident, calm physical presence inside her is the most powerful signal that she is protected by a strong male. She is in her cave, and the entrance is securely closed. Here we come face to face with what Freud called the id, our unconscious, a boiling cauldron of instincts. This part of her psyche does not evaluate your bank account or your sense of humor. It evaluates your vitality, your life force. Your ability to calmly and confidently fill her space is a nonverbal message. I am here. I am strong. You are going to be okay. This is the foundation, without which all other levels are meaningless. And this is where the first and most fatal masculine mistake is made: rushing, anxiousness. When a man hurries, when he is tense and focused only on his own goal, he sends a monstrous signal to her primal brain, the signal of a predator that has seized its prey and is trying to hurry away with it. This is a signal of danger. Instead of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, her body begins to produce cortisol, the stress hormone. She instinctively tenses up, closes off, and any possibility of fusion is lost. So remember, the first level is not about speed. It is about being grounded, about your ability to be totally present in the moment. Your calmness, your steady rhythm, your deep breathing, all of this speaks to her body in the only language it understands. You are safe. Relax. Trust. Only by laying this foundation can you rise to the next level of her perception. Level 2. The trust scanner. The emotional detector. If the first level was about her animal brain, the second is the realm of her limbic system, the emotional center. In a moment of intimacy, she transforms into the world's most sensitive instrument, scanning not your actions, but your internal state. She literally listens to you with her body. What exactly does she hear? She hears the rhythm of your heart through your chest. She hears the depth and evenness of your breath. She feels the slightest tension in your shoulders, in your hands, in your jaw. Her body picks up the micro vibrations of your organism. In this moment, she is a living lie detector that cannot be deceived. Why does this happen? During physical union, so-called mirror neurons are activated. These are brain cells responsible for empathy. They cause her to feel what you feel, but on an unconscious level. If a calm confidence reigns within you, she becomes infected with this calmness. If a hurricane of anxiety, fear, or insecurity rages within you, her body catches that wave, and her own anxiety multiplies. Imagine this scenario. You had problems at work. You've been stressed all day. In the evening, you become intimate. Outwardly, you try to be gentle and confident, but inside, tension is still simmering. You think she doesn't notice, but her body feels the mismatch. Her nervous system detects the dissonance between your external actions and your internal storm. And what does she feel in response? Deceit, insincerity. And where there is no sincerity, there can be no trust. That the biggest mistake a man can make at this level is trying to fake confidence. You can simulate calm breathing or say the right words all you want. But if your body is tense, if your movements are frantic, if your energy is jerky, you have failed the test. She trusts not what you show, but what you are in that moment. Your body doesn't know how to lie. How do you pass this trust scan? The answer is both simple and complex. Be, don't seem. This requires inner work from a man. The ability to leave the day's problems outside the bedroom door. The ability to bring yourself into the here and now through breath and concentration. When you are genuinely calm and relaxed, your body becomes a tuning fork that attunes her to the same frequency. She feels your inner silence, and her own soul falls quiet in response, opening up to you completely. Level 3, the power play, the social theater. The third level is the sharpest, the most provocative, and the most crucial for understanding male and female nature. This is the level of social hierarchy, the level of an unspoken power play. The moment you are inside her, an unconscious but absolutely real process of determining who is the leader and who is the follower in this pair takes place. How does she perceive this? She feels who sets the rhythm, who determines the direction, who is responsible for the process. Does the initiative come from you, or are you passively waiting for her instructions and cues? This isn't about roughness or domination. It's about the presence or absence of an inner vector of strength. Here, we must turn to Carl Jung and his brilliant concept of the anima and animus. The anima is the unconscious feminine aspect in a man. The animus is the unconscious masculine aspect in a woman. During intimacy, her animus seeks the expression of your masculine principle. It seeks structure, confidence, leadership. On the deepest archetypal level, she wants to feel that she is with a man who knows what he is doing, who is capable of taking responsibility and leading. When you confidently lead this dance, when you set the pace, change positions, and manage the energy of the process, you give her animus what it craves. And then a miracle happens. Feeling your strength, she can finally relax and surrender to you completely. She gladly submits to your lead because it frees her from the need to control the situation. In your leadership, she finds her freedom. And now, for the most common masculine mistake, one that destroys attraction more effectively than anything else. It is the mistake of passive pleasing. A man, afraid of doing something wrong, constantly asks, "Do you like it this way?" Or maybe, "Like this? Does that feel good?" He thinks he is showing care. But her subconscious hears something entirely different. "I'm not sure of myself. I don't know what to do. Please, you lead me." He voluntarily hands her the scepter of power. And as soon as she takes it, the magic vanishes. She is forced to become the leader. She starts thinking, analyzing, directing. She transforms from a participant into a manager of the process. And sex with a manager is work, not pleasure. Her subconscious gives you a fat minus in the leader column. And even if everything goes well physically, on the level of attraction, you will have suffered a crushing defeat. Understand this correctly. This is not a call to ignore her desires. A true master feels her response without words. He leads, but he listens attentively to her non-verbal signals. He is like an experienced ship's captain who confidently sets the course, but also considers the wind and the currents. Your task is to be this captain, not the cabin boy who runs to her for instructions every 5 seconds. Take this responsibility, and you will see how she blossoms in your hands. This is the depth we explore on this channel. If this approach resonates with you, now is the best time to subscribe and become part of our community. Level 4, the echo of the past, the mental archive. 4th level is a journey through time. It is the level of her mental archive, her bodily memory. And this is one of the most misunderstood aspects. Many men secretly fear that in a moment of intimacy, she is comparing them to her former partners. The truth is both simpler and more complex. How it really works. She isn't sitting there mentally scrolling through images of her exes, creating a ranking chart. The process occurs on a much deeper neural level. Her body is a library of sensations. Every past experience has left a certain imprint on her nervous system, a neural pathway. And when you are with her, her body unconsciously calibrates the current sensations against those already stored in the archive. This is not a comparison of personalities. It is a comparison of states. Was she safer then or now? Did she feel more relaxed then or now? Was that fusion more complete or is this one? Her body asks these questions without the involvement of her conscious mind. And your task is not just to be no worse. Your task is to create a completely new, unique neural imprint that doesn't just get placed on her archive shelf, but becomes the new benchmark, the new gold standard. Imagine her memory as a music collection. Each partner left their song there. One was fast and passionate. Another was gentle and slow. The mistake most men make is trying to play a hit that they think she should like. They copy standard melodies from movies or books. But it doesn't work, because it's not their music. It's a fake. Your goal is to write and perform your own unique symphony, to create an experience that doesn't yet exist in her collection. How to do this? Through the uniqueness of your own style. Maybe it's the way you breathe on her neck. Maybe it's a particular manner of your touch. Maybe it's the intensity of your gaze. It must be something that is characteristic only of you. Something that her body will remember as your signature. It is precisely this unique anchor that is capable of overwriting her past experience. It doesn't erase the old songs. No. It simply makes yours her new favorite composition. The one her soul will want to listen to again and again. Stop competing with the ghosts of her past. Focus on creating an unrepeatable present. Become not just another performer, but the composer of her new sensations. Level 5. The point of vulnerability, the spiritual portal, and now we have arrived at the 5th. The deepest and the most transcendent level. This happens at the moment of her culmination. In that very second when her body releases all control. A man sees this merely as a physical release. But for her, it is something immeasurably more. It is what mystics call the little death. What does this mean? In this moment, a complete dissolution of her ego occurs. Her I, her personality, her social masks, all of it vanishes for a few seconds. She ceases to be a manager, a mother, a daughter. She becomes pure, primordial energy. This is a moment of her absolute, total vulnerability. She is completely defenseless. Her soul is naked. This is not a metaphor. It is a real psychophysical state. Carl Jung spoke of such peak experiences as a breakthrough into the collective unconscious. It is a moment when a person touches something greater than themselves. For a woman, this is a portal into the deepest essence of her feminine nature. And in the moment she passes through this portal, she instinctively looks for a guardian nearby, someone who will protect her on this sacred journey. And here it is, your ultimate test of maturity. Your entire act of intimacy was merely a prelude to this single second. Everything you do immediately after she releases control will define your place in her world forever. Will you turn to the wall to sleep? Will you reach for your phone? Or will you stay with her, fully present? Imagine two scenarios. Man number one, having gotten his, turns away. What signal does her soul, in its state of maximum openness, receive? I was used. My vulnerability is not wanted. I was just a means to an end. This wound, inflicted at such a moment, remains forever. Man number two, in this second, looks into her eyes. He holds her. He gently kisses her forehead. He silently tells her with his entire being, I am here. I am with you. I see you. I am protecting you. It is in this moment that true alchemy occurs. The female hormonal system, having received this signal of safety, releases a colossal dose of oxytocin and vasopressin into the bloodstream. These are the hormones responsible for forming the deepest, almost mystical bond. She becomes yours not in body, but in soul, because you proved that you could be trusted with the most important thing, her soul, because you remained the guardian at the gates of her vulnerability, and such trust is never forgotten. Conclusion. From technician to master, so what do we have in the end? 5 separate layers? 5 items on a checklist to be mentally ticked off? No, that is the biggest mistake to perceive this knowledge as an instruction manual. In reality, these are the notes of a single symphony, playing in unison at every moment of your intimacy. And the technician man hears only one loudest part, the percussion, the physical rhythm. That is why his music is always primitive and coarse. The master, however, hears the entire orchestra. He hears the deep, primal bass of the fusion instinct. He catches the delicate, trembling melody of her emotional scanner's violins. He feels the powerful leading part of the brass instruments, responsible for the power play. He discerns the faint, nostalgic echo of her bodily memory's flute. And most importantly, he knows how to appreciate the deafening silence that follows her moment of vulnerability. When the entire orchestra falls silent after the final chord, understanding these 5 levels is not a set of new techniques. It is a fundamental change in your internal operating system. You shift from the question, what must I do for her to like it? To the question, who must I be for her to be able to open up? It is a transformation from a performer to a creator. And this transformation extends far beyond the bedroom. A man who has learned to create a space of safety and trust in the most intimate moment begins to radiate this confidence in all areas of his life. You are not just entering her body. You are entering the temple of her soul. And in this temple, every movement, every breath, every glance leaves a mark. You can be an ignorant tourist, wandering noisily, touching everything and leaving trash behind. Or you can be a reverent pilgrim who understands the sanctity of this place and, by his presence, makes it even purer and brighter. You make this choice every second, consciously or not. That is why the true measure of your mastery is not her physical reaction, not the number or volume of her moans. The real indicator is her state afterward. Do you leave her more fulfilled than before you came? More at peace? More alive? After your intimacy, does she feel not depleted and used, but seen, understood, and accepted on the deepest level? This is the main and only exam you take every time. And as Jung would say, ultimately, through this act, you gain access not to her body, but to the very essence of her femininity, to the archetypes that live in her soul. You touch the eternal. Today, we have dissected her universe, her inner cosmos. But this is only half the picture, because in this same moment, she is reading you just as unerringly. In the next video, we will conduct a mirror analysis and break down the 5 masculine states during intimacy that a woman sees right through. We will talk about what your body tells her about your fears, your strength, and your true feelings for her to avoid missing this crucial analysis that will complete today's picture. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and be sure to click the bell icon to be notified when the new video is released. See you soon.